here's the big news, I guess. You know, we'll definitely, I think the solar flare might be bigger news, but when they file to impeach the president, I feel like you can't ignore it. And I got to be honest, I feel kind of bored with it. But okay, so we all know Biden, he's being accused of a quid pro quo. He tells Israel, if you invade Rafah, I'm not going to give you the military aid, which is beyond his capabilities as president, because Congress has already approved the aid to be delivered to Israel. I'm not saying we like that, but Joe Biden doesn't have the authority to unilaterally deny Congress having voted to pass this aid. That is one branch acting like they can do so much more. Now, don't get me wrong. The president sets foreign policy, and the president, in my opinion, actually could do this, but the standard has been set by Democrats when they impeached Donald Trump for doing the exact same thing. Because Trump said to Ukraine, we're not going to give you the aid. We want to know what's going on. And then Ukraine said, okay. And then went, that's it. He's impeached. So now Joe Biden's got to go. And then we can have, I don't know, Kamala Harris, I guess.
Oh, geez. Don't get me started. No, please, God, no.
People are going to jump into the
world.
why. They're going to jump into the, oh, well, it was different because Donald Trump did this, or it was different because blah, blah, blah. There's already people beginning to make that argument on Twitter. And the why does not matter. The fact of the matter is that Congress approved the shipments, whether you like them or not. Congress did. And then the president threatened to intercede in those shipments because of politics, and the president does not have the authority to do that. So if you're going to impeach Donald Trump for it, you got to impeach Joe Biden for it, or at least there is justification to impeach Joe Biden for it.
Listen,
and I say good for the Republicans for doing it, because F the Democrats.
I'm not going to do what past libertarian candidates have done and say they're great public servants, but I'm riding with Biden on this one. All right? Because look, I believe the president should have the power. Even if they don't, I believe they probably do have the power to veto spending bills. And this is, to me, it's a spending bill. And the AUMF has given the president the power to direct our military all over the world for decades now anyways. So like, it's good for Biden. Good for Biden. I'm glad that Biden is deciding not to send any more of my taxpayer money to wars that I don't.
Can he do it to
support.
all wars?
God, I sure wish
Can we
he
just
could.
eliminate all the
Wouldn't
wars?
that be perfect?
But he won't do that.
I would like to see it stopped.
Well, I suppose I should say I got to agree. I am also riding with Biden on this one.
You're all right.
You're live.
Well, because let's talk principally. When Donald Trump said that he's going to withhold military aid, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
I think the president negotiating with foreign countries needs to have the executive authority over our military and how we align and ally with other countries. Congress saying we approve this being sent, I believe ultimately goes to the president to make the determination in these negotiations with foreign leaders. That means the same would apply for Biden. But if we're going to be, if we're saying this is the standard that has been set, and you want to play ball, we'll play ball. That I get, but I also disagree with impeaching Joe Biden in any capacity, because we are 6 months away from an election he is poised to lose on the merits, and we don't need to give them any more advantages. So right now, the real issue for the election is the shadow campaign, whatever it may be. I don't know, but there certainly is one. And Biden is a bucket of concrete strapped to the legs of the Democratic Party. Yes. I don't think it's wise the GOP decide to help take that bucket of concrete off their legs as they're trying to swim this victory.
It's funny that we live in a world where impeachments are now like PR positives for
Absolutely.
presidents. Don't do it because it's going to help him.
But didn't that happen to Trump? Like when he got impeached, his support went up.
Of course,
which is also hilarious because there's no way that happens with Biden, right? If he gets impeached, they're like everyone who's running away from his ship is already going to be like, yeah, see, I told you he was a bad guy.
Look, the thing about Trump, and God bless him for doing this. This is one of the greatest things that Trump did was he made people hate the corporate news media. Like absolutely, that was one of the greatest things of the Trump presidency. And so, like, of course, when the news media started going in on him on this impeachment, everybody's like, yeah, screw them, Yep. But this is just a ploy by the Democrats to slide somebody else in there right before the election. There's no doubt about it.
Sure. But let's talk about my favorite thing ever. And I can't believe it's been almost 10 years. The well-done steak with ketchup. It was Trump. Trump knows what he's doing.
Oh, geez.
So a 30-day dry-aged steak. And they said, Mr. Trump, how would you like? And he says, well done with a side of ketchup. And Trump, I've been to Mar-a-Lago. The man knows how to eat a steak. Like, you don't have a club like that without understanding culinary standards, the way people dress, the dress codes. No, he did this because he knew the media would make fun of him, and then middle America would be like, That's how I have my
That's
steak.
how we eat our steak here. Yeah, exactly.
Why are they making fun of Trump? They're not making fun of Trump. They were making fun of the people when they did that.
Right. Yeah,
He
no,
knows
Trump,
PR
I think
master.
that was the point in which I really understood the amount of troll that Trump was that, and then the Kafefi meme as well. You know what I mean? You can't ever forget that. You woke up. That was in the morning too. You woke up and you're like, "What the hell?" And you're like, "Oh, I know what's going on."
You know, he learned a lot by being in front of a camera on reality TV,
Oh, of course.
knowing like if I just do this one thing, I can tweak the entire media sphere.
Of course.
So that's what all this. I mean, most of it.
He always, since the day he started flirting with the idea of announcing his run for presidency, has controlled the media cycle. Right? I mean, it lives and thrives off of what Trump does, in part because they hate him so much they can't look away, which is sort of hysterical, but also because he knows that he is a bigger personality than anybody else on both sides of the aisle, including Joe Biden, who's like barely with us as far as I can tell. It's really interesting to me, and maybe that's because of his reality TV background, but I also think you are just born that way. There are some people with this kind of charisma.
This version of Joe Biden is almost not with us. Who knows if it's the same one?
Yeah.
Agree.
Whichever one is there.
The Kafefi thing was great because what did he say? Despite the negative, it was like despite the negative, the media Kafefi, or something. And then there were people actually, I think Cassandra actually wrote this, and it was like Kafefi is Arabic for I will stand. And I'm like, come on. Someone potato fingers to the phone and then accidentally hit send. That's all that happened. And then Trump responded with like, what could it mean?
Yeah.
And he's just loving it. He's just
like,
laughing.
I'm in charge. I'm living in all of your heads rent free.
If it was a fat thumb thing, he would have taken it down. I mean, there's no doubt.
I don't know.
No, it was
I think
a fat thumb thing.
I think he likes it. I think he likes it. It's a clown playing 4D chess, but it's not 4D chess.
They did it on purpose.
You think he wrote Kafefi?
Yeah,
I don't
think he did it on
No,
purpose.
I don't think he
Can
did
we
it on
ask him?
purpose. I do think that he just left it. He's like, it makes people talk.
Maybe.
It's funny.
Maybe.
Yeah, he started laughing when he realized how everybody it was trending, and he was like, what could it mean?
I also think this is the difference between a president. You know, people point out that Joe Biden's the oldest president. Trump is older, right? He's like 78 now, but he actually loves social media. He loves it. He loves Twitter. He thinks it's great. He started Truth Social. Whereas Joe Biden, I don't think ever was really in charge of his own social media account. So he doesn't have any way to message himself. He is completely dependent on whatever Gen Z staffer they're like, you must know about the internet. You write my tweets.
His hands don't work.
Nothing works.
His legs work separate of
like
the rest
this.
of his body.
Like
He's like a lobster.
Yeah, that's true. Look, for my own candidacy for president, a lot of people are like, "Oh, you're too rough. You're this. You're too much of a troll online." I'm like, "Did you not see Donald Trump in the White House for 4 years, man? Like, what? That's what people want now. They want somebody that's going to say dumb shit like that all the time. You know? So
I miss it.
Yeah.
I think it's personality. I think people want to feel like there is someone with decisiveness and who has a personality.
Yeah.
Whereas I think everyone sort of feels, even if, registered Democrats are like, yeah, Joe Biden's there, but he's more of the amalgamation of whatever his staffers are doing. Yeah. He's not enough of a personality to feel like a leader, and he's not present enough in anyone's mind to really feel like an inspirational
I don't
candidate.
think anybody in the United States believes that Joe Biden is running the country right now.
Well, I don't think anyone looks at him and said, yes, I want that guy as he is in the White House. I think they're like, well, I guess I have to vote for him.
I think it's magic. I think it's Trump. When he walks in a room, he has an aura just coming out of him. And you can see it when he's somewhere. The way people act around him, it's the weirdest thing. Some people just have it, the X factor. I don't mean literal magic. There's like something about him you can't put your finger on. Call it the X factor. Call it whatever it is. Some people have it, some people don't. Not a single Democrat's got it. No. Trump's got too much. And there's a bunch of Republicans that have a little bit. But it's just like, Trump's that guy that everybody wants to tell a story to, that everybody wants to talk to, that they want Trump to hear what they have to say for some reason. Don't know why.
Our guitar player's like that, Mike. Everybody likes him. Everybody wants to hang out with him, and I can't figure out why. He's been in the band 20 years. I hate the guy.
Phil's like, why is he still here?
He's still here? Holy crap.
Phil votes him out every time.
All the
He's
time.
still there.
Get out of here. I call him stupid Mike Martin all the time.
He just shows back up, and then we all just let him stay.
I mean, he's bigger than me. He's big and strong, too, so I can't say no. Right? All right.
Are you being bullied in your own band?
Maybe a little bit, yeah.
That's
No.
why
Mike
Phil
Martin.
works out so much. Like, one of these days, Mike. One of these days.
Dude, never do. He used, like before he had a kid, he used to work out. And I think his max bench was like 405
Holy
or
shit,
something.
that's a lot. Yeah.
Stupid.
So do people like him, or are they just scared of him?
No, they really like it is weird. Like I've said it before. He's got this weird charisma. He's not super outgoing, and he's not the kind of person that's really boisterous, and he's not the kind of person that goes out and socializes a lot. But there's something about him when like people meet him, they're just like, I like that guy, and he's just got this charisma where people are like, I want to go and hang out with that guy.
Is he from New York?
I think.
Phil? Is he from New York?
No, he's from Ludlow.
Oh, okay.
I think someone in the chat, they kind of explained it. It's this. There's a new way to describe the energy that Trump has. Riz.
Yes.
Oh, the Riz.
yes,
He
yes.
is risen.
He has the
absolutely.
Riz.
Yeah, the Riz. Yeah.
Do you think that
My
we're gonna-
12-year-old says that.
Do you think we're gonna have fewer charismatic people because we had a generation of kids? Like, well, every generation is increasingly more online.
Well, no, I think the charisma died out when comedy died out. I mean, really, at the end of the day, it was like everything's any joke now is like off limits and offensive, and like you can't go out and have that aura anymore. You're misogynist.
So
or
I agree
whatever.
I agree with you about comedy, but I don't think the charisma has died off. I still think that there is an innate amount of charisma, and it's not just pretty privilege, because again, like I said, Mike, he's not what you would consider like a good looking dude. Like he's not.
So you don't like him, and he's ugly.
Oh, jeez, dude.
I knew you were gonna do
no, but
this.
here's
Is it
the
his
thing.
birthday?
But here's the thing:
Come on.
is like we used to have a whole generation of men that wanted to have the Riz. I mean, that was like men aspired to have the Riz.
I agree.
To have swag, and now they aspire.
But
you're
talking about something different. You're talking about something different than what I'm talking about. So like Riz, and because what it sounds like is you're talking about things like being able to interact and kind of like how to win friends and influence people, right?
Sure, the aura.
Yeah, but the thing is, there is a certain amount of just natural charisma that people have, where you don't know why someone walks into a room and you're like, I like that guy, and I don't know why. Oftentimes, it's associated with things like height, with facial symmetry and stuff like that. Not always. Sometimes it's not. And like I said, Mike isn't like he's not a weird looking guy, but he's not a particularly handsome guy where you're like, oh, is a pretty dude. I
think everybody knows that, the moment Trump steps out on that stage or appears on the TV, all the ladies are fainting and fanning themselves.
He's the new Beatles.
He's the Beatles.
Yeah.
he had
right.
that.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, when he was younger, he had that.
Yeah. Well, he also had a lot of money.
Well, I mean, I tell you,
At the end of the day,
But
that's
there are
where-
a lot of
when-
people with
when-
lots of money who are very awkward and weird.
Sure, and they still have women fawning over them every day.
Money
Every
has
day.
never made anyone ugly.
Money
has never made someone ugly.
Have you ever
seen
Bill
plastic
Gates?
surgery?
I was about to say, have you ever seen an interview with Bill Gates?
Bill Gates
before?
is a melting
You know what I'm talking
marshmallow.
about? Yeah, he's a
in a
goofy
sweater vest.
person.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.